You know, like here we checked in. Far out, man. I don't know why there's sand. Feels like there's sand flies here. There wasn't any sand flies on that other island. I don't know what the hell's going on this island. Alright guys, all packed up and ready to go off onto the next island. And just so happens when you always leave the island, it's the beautiful sunny day. Always happens that way, doesn't it? You waste a couple of hours in transit and that's when it's a beautiful day. I don't think I forgot anything. So a bit of a close call this morning. Didn't have I left my accommodation really late. Luckily, and I mean luckily, we were able to find something along these, you know, like 10 or so islands that everyone stays on. So unfortunately we couldn't find any accommodation in Blue Lagoon, Wailele, and some other island around that point. I'll show you on the map a bit later on. They seem to be the most popular islands that everyone goes to, but I checked on Hostel World and they're all booked out for the whole week. So I think the next availability is pretty much next month. So couldn't go to those and then pretty much just had to end up at the island which did have accommodation. So the island that we did find accommodation on is Barefoot Island, which is just on the other side, just on the next island. So pretty much in the same group of islands on the Yasawa group of islands. But the good thing about that is we don't have to pay any extra for the catamaran to go transfer islands, because that catamaran ride is pretty expensive actually. I think to go to the next island or the next group might be like another 150 Fijian dollars, but since this one's pretty much on the same stop and it's just a different boat that gets you from the different islands, we just hop on the catamaran and then the little boat that picks people up for that island picks us up. So it's just like a little transit. So I guess that's a plus for staying close.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Alright, made it to the next island, Barefoot Manta. And here is the room. 4-bedroom dorm bure thing for this island for the next 2 nights. And we have now made it to our second island, Barefoot Manta. So this place is actually pretty close to Mantaray Island, and if you saw before, the big catamaran, far out, that's a hard word to say, catamaran. The big catamaran came, and then it was perfectly timed with all the boats. It was like 3 small boats of people and a boat for the bags. We met the catamaran out in the sea, and then there was about 3 boats of people and then a boat for the bags. So everyone got on, and then the people that were due for Mantaray Island got off, and then this island is actually just behind it. I'll show you on my phone. So as you can see, just before my phone dies, there was Mantaray Island. This was the dive spots down south, and then this is Manta Barefoot. Now these 2 islands are popular for the mantas. There's a stream here that they come through at the right time of year, but unfortunately we came a bit too early. They're only kind of just starting to come in, and there's only probably been 1 or 2 sightings of them so far. So each of these islands is actually set up as, you know, one resort. So Mantaray Island, there's a Mantaray resort. Barefoot Manta, there's a Barefoot Manta resort. So there's only really one place to choose from. You could pick between dorm rooms and bures, which is the rooms, you know, your own private room, which is a bit more expensive. But yeah, even dorm rooms, on that other island we paid $49. Here we're paying $60, so not the cheapest dorm rooms. As you can see, there was a range. Back there was a 32-bedroom dorm, which was air conditioned. But here it's just a 4-bedroom hut, pretty much with a fan and mosquito nets. Now the kicker to staying on these islands, which is something I didn't know about and something that I've already complained about, is the price of the food. So it's already pretty expensive for the accommodation and the boat to get here, but on each of these islands is a mandatory meal plan. So it's 119 Fijian dollars mandatory meal plan everywhere that you stay, per person per day. So that's breakfast, lunch and dinner. So in any one day, your accommodation $50, meal plan $120, that's 170 for accommodation and food alone. And then activities can range from $30 to $70 plus the diving that we did. So really nice place. You know, I'm complaining a little bit about the price, mainly because I didn't know about it. But once you kind of just let it sink in and accept that's just the way it is, then the better off you'll be. And you know, like here we checked in, far out, man. I don't know why there's sand, it feels like there's sand flies here. There wasn't any sand flies on that other island. I don't know what the hell's going on this island. So when you get on an island, you're met with, you know, guitar, music and singing, and then you go in for a brief. So it's the same on every island, and then you have to pay for the mandatory meal plan. $120, I can't get over it, per person per day. And when I worked it out back to Australian dollars, it's pretty much $27 Australian dollars per meal. So here are the different places you could go on the Yasawa flyer through the Yasawa Islands and the Mamanuca Islands. As you can see there, the times from Denarau Port, from 30 minutes all the way to the top high-end resorts, 4.5 hours away. And here's a map. So you start off here in Nadi, in Denarau Port, and then you go all the way up through the Yasawas, and we are here in, where were we? We were at Mantaray Island 11 and we went to 12. So we were just in that little spot there. And here, as I said, are the times. Northbound and southbound leaves at 8:45 in the morning, gets to the top end by 1:45, and then makes its way back. So hopefully that's a bit of info for you guys, a bit of informative info if you're planning to go through Fiji and the Yasawa Islands. I wouldn't really call it a top backpacker place or a budget backpacker because it's pretty expensive. Expect to spend around $150 a day, so that's more of a flash packer's budget. But yeah, it's quite enjoyable apart from the weather. I wish it was sunny to make the money a bit more worth it. So unless there's something interesting that happens in the next 2 hours, it's 5:30 now, I think I'll call it a day. It's starting to rain actually, and it's dinner time soon and I'm starving. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog, and I'll catch you guys early tomorrow.
Lane number 2, ladies and gentlemen, representing USA, the land of stars and stripes. Let's give a big hand to Simply the Best! All the way from the land down under, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand to Waltzing Matilda from Australia! And now, Barefoot Manta in Fiji, ladies and gentlemen, lane number 7, Boulevard from Fiji!